Hey, hey, put a smile on your face. Sunday chillin', song that you can bump to. One day chillin', doing whatever you want to. Sunday chillin', song to sing along to. And we gon' do whatever we gon' do. I know you want to, you can sing along too, yeah. I see you can sing along too, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about legacy today. When you hear the word legacy, what do you think of?
I was going to ask you that first, and you beat me to it. So, I think a family legacy more than individual legacy.
Yeah.
That's what comes to me first.
I think that's...
I think you can have an individual legacy in a small town, but I think with what we're used to and what we deal with in Amherst, it's family legacies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just an individual name, it's kid after kid after kid coming through the ranks, you know?
Yes. Generation after generation.
Yeah.
And I think Amherst
Has a lot of them.
I think it's probably one of the, bigger. I think it's the smaller school, but one of the bigger legacy schools because you got so many farming families and, generations that have went to school, came back, still working. I think it's cool. I admire being able to keep a small town going because of legacy like that. And our family, Hadwiger after Hadwiger after Hadwiger. And it's just, I like it. I like seeing it. I like hearing the stories. I like watching old film of people, going in and seeing the record books or on the wall, records on the wall, and how many different family members are on that wall,
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool to see. I do think that when you're a part of it, it's part of the Amherst community, a part of Amherst School and all that. Do you think that kids on the outside looking in, like we talk a lot as coaches about transfer students, things like that. Do you think a school like Amherst that is deep in the legacy aspect, do you think that would deter kids from they hear, oh, Amherst is, you got this family and that family and the traditions and the history and all this stuff, and then you have somebody from the outside looking in is like, man, I don't know. That's stepping into that environment, not having a history, not having a legacy, and then potential pressure of, I might just be better staying where I am. Are you going to
be accepted?
Yeah, are you going to be accepted? I thought about that a lot, like when I was in high school, because, we had legacy families where I went to high school, not near like we have here, bigger school. It's not as easy, but I think that if I was in high school and Amherst was the next town over or something, that'd be kind of, that'd make me second guess, like, oh, I don't know. There's a lot of families there that have been there a long time, kids still in school, they got more kids coming up. Should I risk going and trying to compete with those legacy families or stay where I am, create my own legacy?
My response to that would be, I think this day and age, no, I don't think it probably does affect them. I think they look more at, not necessarily the name, but they look at if it's a sport or activity or whatever they're doing. I would say a few years ago, people probably wouldn't come to Amherst for wrestling because they dominated, and there was legacy families. There's the Taubenheins, there's the Trampies, and I can't even remember all of them. But, so I think they probably look at a sport, and unfortunately it's coming to that. They're looking at sports as opposed to the actual school because it's a high school, right? You got to go get your education. But they're looking at, I think they're looking more at the sport as opposed to the family. Yeah. Now, us inside Amherst that live here and can see it every day, we can see the legacy there. But I don't know. I don't know about outside.
got a lot of small towns competing too. Legacy competition, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Overton. Look at all these little think of the legacies they have. Legacies Amherst has. Imagine a Friday night conversation at the local bar with Overton families and Amherst families.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I went to school 40 years ago, but there's still those same names at those other schools at Pleasanton, at Axtell, like Overton, you said, Loomis. They all have this. There's still some names there that were there when I went to school. So, yeah, it would be an interesting to sit around the table and talk to different families that have a long line of history at their school, at their town. Just kind of get their perspective too and what they think about. Obviously, they've got a deep-rooted love, I guess, for lack of a better term, for this community, for their community. Otherwise, why would they come back?
Yeah.
But family's huge, and it should be. Let's come back, work on the farm. Let's come back and work in the family business, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I go back to Elm Creek. I mean, there's no faders in Elm Creek. So that's kind of, I don't have a personal example like that for myself. I can only look at other families that we see around here.
Yeah. Same here.
Right.
I mean,
I'm just a transplant, so.
Well, we all kind of are to a degree
Yeah.
to the Amherst. I mean, you two definitely because
Yeah.
you're from out of state and moved here. But, I mean, I grew up down the road. But, again, 40-some years ago when I was in school. But and Amherst was the smallest school in the conference at that time. And it was all the same families. Klingelhoffers, Fishers, Trampies, Hadwigers. I mean, it was all the...
And they're all still rolling.
And they're all still rolling. Just a few more kids now.
yeah.
So
how did, since you're a transplant, and your kids are in the heat of all the sports here, how was that transition into a school with such a rich legacy?
From the kids' perspective, I think I don't know that it probably crossed their minds, honestly. I think for my girls and Jarek, I don't know that was ever something they probably really thought about.
I would agree.
They woke up and they said, I want to play this sport, and that was that. And who played it before them, and who's going to play it after them, I think is very low on their interest level. I think that's how the generations are changing. If my kids didn't play with a particular kid, odds of them knowing what somebody before them accomplished, very low. Very low, in my opinion. I think it has zero effect or my kids, it had zero effect in my opinion coming into Amherst. I mean, we knew when we first moved here, wrestling. I remember the first, we moved here in March, and then wrestling season came around. I remember that first year we're in our living room and we're watching all the state wrestlers on the TV, and it was this huge deal, right? And they were coming home from school saying so-and-so's going to state, so-and-so's so good, and so they recognize it in the moment, but they couldn't have told you who won last year. They couldn't have told you who won 5 years before that, so it's very just in the moment, I feel like, with high school kids nowadays. They hit a point, sometime when in terms of legacy, I don't think from my kids' perspective that had any positive or negative effect on them.
Yeah. So we're talking about legacy as a family. Give me your input on legacy as an individual. We've all played sports. We all did other activities in school. So we have our own legacy, right? I mean, obviously everybody does. But let's personalize it a little bit. When you see your kids out there playing, Riley, obviously it's little stuff right now, but I mean, how do you feel about your kids when you see them participating? Do you think, well, I could have done that, or do you think, man, they're better than me? Do you have those thoughts? I mean, is it a competition for you? Is it excitement for you? I mean, maybe it's all the above. I don't know.
Right now, it's all just excitement for me right now. It's an interesting feeling, as the older boy maybe isn't showing the most athletic abilities at the moment. And then the younger one is more athletic, more physical. So, but they're both young. They got a lot of growing to do. So I try not to put them in a box or label them already right now. So right now for me, it's more just I want them to get exposure to everything, everything they can. And then from there, they can decide what they like, what they don't like. I want them to continue sports one way or another. I think it's a good thing to just do and helps you in life with all like the things that you can learn from it. But as from like my legacy, I don't want what I've done sports wise to bleed into them. I don't think that's healthy. Now, if they were to ever ask me about how good of an athlete I was or whatever, or ask me for pointers, yeah, I'll be there for it. But I'm gonna try to be that person that doesn't try to relive my glory days through my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Leave
I mean,
my
you look-
legacy as myself.
I mean, do you look at them and think, boy, I hope one of them plays baseball, or I hope one of them is fast? Because you were fast. I mean, you were a good runner. You're a good football player. I mean, you love baseball. I mean, do you look at them and say, boy, I'll be really disappointed if they don't play baseball? Or
I think I had more of those thoughts before they were born. Once when they were born, I don't want to say I couldn't care less. I think there's a little part of me that's like still, yeah, I want. It would be awesome if they played baseball. I loved doing traveling baseball for years. I thought it was so much fun, and I know my parents enjoyed it. So, there's part of me that'd be like, oh, that would be cool to experience that as an adult. But I don't think I'm gonna ever pressure them to try to do that. Right now, it's more kind of after they got born and kind of grew up a little bit. Now it's just more of I just want them to be well-mannered and just good people more than anything else right now.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll check it once they get into the little more competitive sports, how that feels.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now, they're still pretty young though, so.
So now, Brandon, let's take it on your perspective because he's talking about boys. You're predominantly girls.
I got two things here,
All right.
real quick. First, if my girls were in the room right now, I would tell them right to their face they're never going to be as good as their dad. If they're not in the room, my girls are all going to be way better than I ever was. I'll tell you that right now. But
is that a positive or a negative?
I want to change the subject just slightly real quick because you asked Riley if he would be upset if one of his boys or if his boys didn't play baseball. Jazzy's my athlete, right? Journey's young. It's hard. Journey kicked butt at field day today. She won the 100 meter, won the 200 meter, was beating boys, throwing footballs, she kicked butt. Still a lot of unknown there. Jazzy, though, the one thing I know about Jazzy is she's determined, she's athletic, and she's never going to take no for an answer, right? It is a heated battle in my house right now. Because guess who doesn't want to play basketball in high school? And Dad's pissed. Dad is pissed. Because I thought that was the one basketball player I was going to get out of all my kids, and now she's trying to opt out on me. We're not on speaking terms. That's how bad it is with me and Jaslyn right now. We are not on speaking terms. Like, I'm being very immature about the situation, but I'm doing it on purpose because I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
So okay, as a dad, should I really pursue convincing her and almost forcing her to play? Or should I, like, at what point did these high school kids take control of what sports they do and don't, they play and don't play? Because I feel like when we were in high school, or when I was in high school, my parents said, your butt's playing basketball or your butt's playing football. Guess what I was doing? I was playing basketball or I was playing football. Now it's like, and I partially probably a little my fault because I let Jaden and Jarek have some freedom in what, as long as they played sports, I didn't push them to necessarily play. I knew Jarek wasn't my athlete. Jaden loves dance and volleyball. She's good at those two things. I'm content with that. Jazzy was my basketball player, though. Jazzy was the one that I was going to get to go watch play basketball. And now she's breaking my heart, and I don't know how to handle it.
So, talking about legacy and yours, basketball is your legacy.
Yeah.
That was the sport that you loved, enjoyed, and wanted to watch your kids play.
And now I'm not going to get to.
So, it's a great example. And you shared your feelings. To the point of being disappointed or upset or.
It's a full-on fight in our house right now.
Yeah.
Steph's having to, like, separate us.
Yeah.
I've never been so frustrated over something like that. And I don't know what, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to like, she hasn't given me a valid reason as to why she doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Her reasoning is, well, I'm not going to play. There's so many goals, but who cares? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck right now. I made Jaden bring home the basketball papers, and this is how bad it is. I made Jaden bring home the basketball. She was supposed to go to a meeting on, it was either Monday or Tuesday night, and of course all of her siblings rat her out. So they walk in the house. Jaslyn, where are you supposed to be? Jaslyn, shh, stop, don't. So I find out. So now I'm mad. So I tell Jaden tomorrow, bring the basketball papers home. So Jaden brings the basketball papers home. So last night at like 9 o'clock, I walk in Jazzy's room, shaking those basketball papers. Look what I got, Jaslyn. Yeah, you're playing. She wasn't having it.
Sounds like an interesting progress. We'll get that report here in a little while, in another week or two, how that goes. But we do have a little bit of time, Brendan. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know. Am I wrong to get upset?
I don't. You know what? I'm not going to say right or wrong because that's somebody else's perspective, right?
Well, but like if you were in my shoes, how would you feel?
I could understand. As a guy, I think we and Riley's calm right now, but I think as the boys get older, it might change a little bit. But I think as a guy, we want our kids to do it. I think in the back of our minds, we want our kids to outplay us, but yet we're not going to let them know that. Just like you had said earlier, right?
I want them to outplay me so bad.
We want them to succeed and obviously depending on if it's sports or dance or whatever, schoolwork or whatever, you want them to succeed. That's in the back of your mind.
You want your kids to be great.
But you do want them to follow you. I do. I want them to follow me. I was with you, Brandon. Basketball was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And baseball and football and all those. And so did I push them towards basketball? The boys? Yeah. I even tried getting Sarah to go, but it wasn't something that she enjoyed doing. So I had to slow down a little bit there.
Steph,
but I will say, one of the best plays I ever seen in junior high was Sarah. Didn't even like playing basketball. She catches the ball at the corner of the elbow of the free throw line, looks around, flips it behind her back to her teammate for a layup. Sweet move. But
Steph's grilling me now because she's like, Jazzy's schedule is already crazy. You know, she'll have volleyball, she'll have dance, she'll have track. She does. She's like I said, she's my athlete. So I get that, but I'm just like, man, how about we don't do track and we do basketball? Or how about we don't, like, come on. But
Yeah. And I
it is
think
what
back
it
to
is.
what you said earlier about when do they get to decide what sports or whatever. I think things have changed and everything, but I think you hit it on the head there for a second ago. What Steph said is they have so many other activities to do.
Yeah.
So many other activities.
Yeah.
And back when we were growing up, we didn't have that many choices.
No.
And if we wanted to do something with our buddies, it was probably going to be a sporting event,
Mhm.
either in school or in the summer playing baseball or whatever. I mean, that was our social time. They have so much social time now that they do get it. I mean, they have so many choices to make. So, I mean, doesn't take away from that desire to have your kid be that way. I know that, but it's
No, we can get back on track. I'm done venting now.
no. I don't
So
think
I
you're
had-
venting. I think
I
you
had
were
to bring
talking
that
about
up.
all that, but
It's a good point, though.
right.
Ties right into what we're
Journey's not
talking
going to play
about.
basketball. You want to know how I know this? Because she plays defense on defense and she plays defense on offense. She hasn't quite figured that out yet.
Well, she's what? 10, 12? How old is she?
Going to be 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how. I've tried to explain it to her in the most simplest form, and I don't know what's happening. But she's on offense. Nope, she's still on defense. She can play the heck. She'll stick with her defender, but she also does it when she's supposed to be playing offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Playing the mind games.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's trying to trick them. Man. Who knows?
Yeah.
But she's made it very clear she's not playing basketball. So I was like, well, at least you let me know at a very early age, so I don't get my hopes up later in life.
So back to when our kids were going to school, because I'm the older guy here. Yeah, I wanted both boys to play basketball and do all that. And Noah took hold of it and he went with it. He enjoyed basketball, and so that was exciting. Noah or Josiah was the same way. I mean, he jumped in and participated, but I would say there's a lot of other factors, but I think it got to the point where they played enough that I don't want to say burnout, but they were ready to be done.
I think burnout's a real thing at the high school level.
Yes, because of what I said earlier about all the other activities. And
But you think it's not just soul? Because I hear this a lot. Like, I don't know. I admit that high school kids do a lot of stuff, right? But like if a kid was only doing, let's say, basketball, I don't know. That'd be tough to get burnt out on, in my opinion. A single sport athlete getting burnt out on it through his high school career. Unless I'm just out of tune with, I don't think there's like a ton of like out of season like leagues and stuff like that they all do. Is there?
well, I think there are, but I don't know if we necessarily see all of them where we're at here in the Midwest and in a small town. But
Just a question. Burnout terms becoming real popular in my opinion with.
I think the burnout turns because they start so early.
Yeah.
See, I agree with that more than
I
anything.
think that is a big part of it is the
Competitive wise.
competitive wise.
Yeah, you run them early, you run them hard, and then you're talking 7, 8, 9, 10 years of it versus, just high school,
4 or
junior
6.
high. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it does. I mean, and I think parents, and I'm raising my hands because I was part of that as well. I think you push them in that direction because for me, I wanted to watch them. I loved watching them play, all three of them. And so you push them to do something because I think out of maybe pride for myself is I wanted to watch them play. So here, go do this. And you push them towards, or I pushed them towards the sports that I loved.
Yeah.
More than anything, right?
I think as a parent, I push them towards stuff because that's also how I get my social interaction fill in. Like, yeah, I want to watch them play, but I also know that all these other parents are going to be there. I can communicate, hang out, Yeah, it's
Well, that's like when I said, when I was doing all like my traveling baseball, it was fun for me playing. It was more of like, yeah, I love playing baseball, but I barely remember any games. It was all just outside the games, like
Yeah.
what me and the other kids were doing outside, like hanging out at the hotel, playing in the pool, going and eating at a restaurant afterwards. But at the same time, I know my parents have a lot of good memories from those times too, because, you know, they would take me to go to this other hotel where my other friends were at, and then they would talk with the other parents, and it was. I think it was just all around very social for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I keep taking us in all these different directions.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, I'm looking forward to the grandkids playing. I don't think it's nice because it's more laid back. I won't have that. I don't have that desire to push them like I did my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. But again, I'm probably like you, Riley. When they get older and they start playing, I'll have to watch to keep my mouth shut. Probably trying to coach them when I don't need to be,
Yeah.
and encourage them when I need is what I need to do. But you get excited. I mean, especially if they make one good play, it's just like, oh, look at the potential. Look at all this that's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that, and I don't care where they do it. If they do it at Amherst or Elm Creek, I mean, legacy part of that at a school that doesn't.
Yeah, I like legacies, and I think legacies are important. Legacy families, I like all that, and I think they're important. I don't know how high up on my list of let's create a name, the Godfrey name in this particular town or this particular school. I think my goal for my kids is make your own name and do it how you see best, and if it ends up on the wall or people end up remembering it, then great.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then on to the next, I guess.
So that got me thinking, you got these kids that come from these legacy families. I can't help but feel like, there's some pressure that comes with that. Oh, I know my older brother and my dad and my grandpa, they were all amazing at this sport, and now everyone knows my name because they all saw XYZ be amazing at this. So now they're expecting me to be amazing at this. And
Yeah, high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So does that
all because of the name.
So we're talking about legacy and we're talking about ourselves. What do you think the kids think? Just like you just sprung a thought on me.
Mm-hmm.
Do they feel the pressure? I mean, if we keep saying, "Man, I wish you did this," or "Wish you did that," or "I could do this," "I wish you'd do this," what I did, does that put pressure on them?
I think it does. I think it depends on like what's the extent of them getting that verbal kickback. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, if I had to guess, I feel like most high school kids nowadays would not care, and they would probably just make them mad and not want to do it. At least, I think that's how a lot of high school kids would react nowadays. Now you talk about, the LeBron Jameses and his kids and the Shaquille O'Neal and their kids of the world, like they have zero choice.
Yeah.
If Shaq's kids ever said, "Hey, I'm not playing bad," his kids had no choice. But when you're talking small town, high school level stuff like that, like if I was this stud Amherst legacy athlete, and I don't know that my kids would necessarily care. I think that they would understand it, but I don't know that they would set out to try to be better or to try and compete with the legacy.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go out and they're going to do their thing, and how it shakes out, it shakes out.
I guess I would be on the other side of that spectrum, I think.
Yeah.
But this is just how I would be. I mean, if I saw my family and history of what they've done at this school and different things, I think I would feel pressure to want to carry on that legacy. I think, having a personal, I want to get that record, or I want to beat my brother's up there, I want to beat him. My dad's up there, I want to beat him. My grandpa's up there, I want to beat him out. I think true legacy is, and this is my thoughts. True legacy is I just want to have the opportunity to be up there because I don't want to let my family name down because of me doing something different or not performing. So I think there would be pressure, but that's just me.
I think that if the particular individual is an athlete and is capable of his name going up there, yes, by all means. I think he would want that. He would try to get that and would feel the pressure from that. I think that when we're talking names on a wall that have been there for years, I think a lot of kids nowadays, like my girls are super realistic in the sense that like they almost already tell themselves, which this isn't great for an athlete. I think as an athlete you should always be trying to, shoot for the stars per se. But I think I see a lot in high school, these kids are so realistic with the situation they're in that they're like, I'm not good enough I'm not going to beat that. Why should I hold the pressure of trying if in their mind they don't think they can? You know what I mean? You have a legacy family where the grandson comes through the ranks and he's playing sports, but he's not getting court time. He's not, I doubt in those situations, maybe the dad or the brother are like poking him saying, hey, you don't want your name up there. Sorry, Dad, I only touched the court for 3.5 minutes tonight. I don't know what to tell you, So I think, if you have that athlete that, I think back to 2 seasons ago in boys basketball, they had an athlete that we all knew he was capable. His name was going on the wall probably multiple places. That pressure in that situation, 100%. But I think those are a lot more far and few between than the average legacy family. Name creates a legacy, but you're talking about some the odds of generation after generation putting a name up on the wall. That's a heck of an accomplishment.
So you're saying people are more realistic now.
Yeah, well, I think that athletes nowadays, everything is tracked and trended so much. Like, I'm relatively new to this track scene, right? Jane's in track, her boyfriend Cannon's big in track, and everything is, Cannon can almost tell you down to the couple inches what he's going to jump every single time, right? Goes through practice throughout the week, and he basically knows I'm going to jump, within 6 inches of this. I can almost guarantee it. So I think because everything is so much more visible to everybody, I think it enlightens kids a lot earlier in life as to whether or not they will have a realistic chance of that name going up on the board. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest, when I was in high school, I wasn't a legacy family. We had more football players in my family than my dad. My dad, basketball player. His name's on the wall at UNK.
Yep.
In high school, I knew my name was probably not going on the wall somewhere. That didn't deter me from playing or loving basketball or wanting to play. I also didn't have the pressure of somebody saying, hey, look at my name up there. Mm-hmm. Don't you want that? But I think, from what I can remember, I think I knew, sophomore, junior year that, I was a decent basketball player. I wasn't going D1. I wasn't breaking records. Name wasn't going up on the wall for whatever record, But that didn't make me not want to play. So that's why I say I don't know how much. I think there's certain situations where pressure definitely is there. Mm-hmm. If you've got that kid, yes, by all means. But I think
okay, so
it's tough, I think.
So you didn't have the pressure, didn't have your name on the wall, knew you weren't going there. I agree. I understand that part of it. But what kind of legacy do you want to leave for yourself? Okay, so you were talking about your family having football players and all that. So your legacy there, really wasn't, I guess. We probably need to define legacy more. But anyway,
Yeah.
what do you want your kids? Do you want your kids to leave a legacy? What legacy do you want the Godfreys to have? What legacy do you want the Learys to have 10, 12, 20, 40 years down the road? And in looking at our notes, because we were talking about me basketball, and Joni she did everything, and she was a stud at everything she did, and I enjoyed playing. But right now, our legacy, I think, is going to be volleyball.
Yeah.
Right? I've never played the game. Joni played it in high school. Sarah played it in high school and club. The boys played it. The boys refed. Noah still refs. Joni's coaching. She's got the club volleyball. Our legacy is volleyball. Is that? I mean,
No,
who would ever thought that starting out? But I guess maybe that's a twofold question.
Well, I was going to say, I think I'm building my legacy more now than I ever did, 20 years ago or in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You're building it as a dad as opposed to an athlete.
I'm building it as a dad, as hopefully what I'm teaching and growing my kids to become. I high school legacies are there. They're obviously talked about. They're popular. They don't go away, right? And this is what I'm about to say is me not taking away from high school legacies, but I care more what my kids do after high school than I care what they do and that's just in life in general. I'm not saying just sports,
well, and I think that's a topic that we can explore. Is we've been talking about family legacies in sports in high school,
yeah.
but it's more than just sports.
Yeah.
And you started to touch on that, and I think that's good.
Yeah, I think legacy. I think you're building your legacy till it's over, till the day you die.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're building your legacy. So, I'll never forget things I did in high school. I'll never forget things my kids do in high school. If my kids create a legacy name for themselves in high school, great. That's awesome. But I think beyond high school, beyond sports, beyond even college, what you do.
So you're saying it's beyond the bleachers.
It is beyond the bleachers. God.
I'll start.
This is like kill.
We'll go the other
Kill
way
Bill?
this time.
Kill Mary.
Okay.
Whatever.
What about
Would you
Mary?
rather sit in 100-degree heat or freezing rain at a baseball game?
100-degree heat.
100-degree heat.
100-degree heat at a baseball game.
Would you rather have a 6 a.m. volleyball tournament start time or the 9:30 p.m. last game?
Oh, morning.
Morning.
Every time.
Morning.
Would you rather forget chairs or forget snacks?
Chairs.
Chairs.
I'm going to say snacks because I go to the concession stand.
Well, that goes in here. Would you rather not have a not working scoreboard or a broken down concession stand or a not open concession stand?
I'm going with the scoreboard.
You'd rather have a broken scoreboard?
I'd rather not have that. I would rather have the. What was the question?
I'd rather have a broken concession stand.
I'd rather have a broken concession stand.
Broken scoreboard.
Well, it depends on the sport. If we were talking about volleyball, club volleyball, it doesn't matter. I want the concession stand. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, you probably need a scoreboard.
Okay. These are a little more kid related as dads. Would you rather your kids score a lot but celebrate super embarrassingly? Or play great but trip all the time?
Play great, but trip all the time.
No, I'm going with celebrate.
I'm going with the celebrate.
Alright. Would you rather your child strike out looking or swing and miss in the most chaotic way possible?
Oh,
Oh,
never.
I'd say swing and miss.
yeah, I'd say
Swing and
swing and miss.
Okay. Would you rather be known as the loud dad or the intense, silent, staring dad?
If I had to
Intense silent
choose,
staring.
if I had to choose between the two, intense silent staring, I guess.
Can we not have a happy medium?
Well, intense staring or what?
Loud.
Really loud.
I'm going loud. I can still be positive and be loud, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather wear full team gear every game, like head to toe, or accidentally wear rival colors once?
Rival colors.
Rival colors. I tend to do that often, actually.
Like decked out head to toe every single time?
Rival
or
colors.
Accidentally wear the wrong color.
Probably rival colors. That's a tough one.
I don't like a lot of the.
Here's 5 that are like kind of absurd. Would you rather ref your own kid's game or commentate it live on a mic?
Commentate.
Commentate.
Commenting, I think.
Would you rather switch sports every season forever and ever or commit to one sport year round?
One sport year round.
I'm going with switch.
Switch.
Would you rather only watch sports on your phone forever or only listen to it on the radio?
Oh, watch on my
watch on
phone
my phone.
forever. I know what yours.
Pass it onto the TV. It's stuck in
No, yeah,
I would have to go. I'd have to go phone. However, in my day and age, that's all we got growing up was listening to the Husker football game on the radio because they were never on TV. So I got the best of those. I experienced both of those, I guess.
All right, this one's a little more like reflective. Would you rather have your kid play a sport you don't understand or be forced to coach a sport you don't understand?
I'd rather watch.
yeah. I'd rather have my kid play a sport they don't understand.
Yeah, I'd rather. have
Well,
my
I don't
kid
know.
Play a sport that I don't understand. I'm kind of in that boat.
Yeah, I don't. I'm in between on that one.
You know, I
He
think
swims.
yes, swimming and I mean, I understand golf, but I've never got even a proper lesson. So do I really understand golf? Probably not. But yeah, 5 years old. But yes, swimming and golf.
All right, last one. Would you rather be forced to run one drill at practice in front of your kid or keep score at every game your kid plays in?
All run one drill.
Run the drill.
What was it?
Would you rather be forced to run one drill at practice in front of your kid every time or keep score at every game they play in?
Probably keep score because I've done that. Run a drill? I mean, I wouldn't do the Oklahoma drill. I can tell you that in football.
Yeah, but you only have to attempt it once.
Well, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. CTE.
Just kneel, get up, turn around, kneel with the ball. Play's over.
Oh, it's the NFL. So if your knee's down, you're not down.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the question of the day is, what type of snack person are you? Morning, middle, night? What type of snack do you eat? Who are you, Brandon, when you snack? Riley?
I'll go first on this one. I've never been a big breakfast person. As I got older, I tend to try to eat breakfast. Helps my energy throughout the day a little bit more than when I was younger. But I really like my snacks now in the afternoon. I need something a little bit. I like. It could be something as simple as some sunflower seeds, just something small but a lot of them. So like sunflower seeds, pistachio nuts. Oh, that's a good one. Just
Well, we already know you did Skittles on the basketball
yep.
bench.
Candy goes well with my afternoon snacks for sure. You can get a big giant bag of candy, and I'll just eat that all afternoon. My nighttime snacks tend to be more of like if I could get some ice cream. game over there. But I don't know. I like yogurts in the evenings. Bowl of cereal in the evening. That's better than morning.
I'll go next because you'll still. So growing up, it was Little Debbie. She was my favorite, and she was my best friend. I think she still is to a degree. But as the older I get, I don't eat as much chocolate and candy like I did. The only time I eat chocolate is when we do volleyball season.
And we eat a lot of chocolate.
We do eat a lot of chocolate because of the snack. The
Hopefully none
student
of the
managers.
volleyball girls listen to this because we always say we don't eat the chocolate.
Well, we do. We have a handful every now and then. Well, about every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joni keeps clean where it's going. I don't want to tell her.
I'm staying silent.
I'm staying silent too.
It's
So
not me and
Joni,
Kyle.
don't hear this one.
It's not me and Kyle.
But now I'm on a kick of granola. I like my granola, and I just eat it.
You make some at-home yogurt parfaits with it?
No yogurt, just
Really?
granola. And that's what I usually have for breakfast, and just pull it out of the bag and eat it like candy. But in the evening time, Joni and I love popcorn. Big old bowl of buttered popcorn, cooked in bacon grease with salt. Oh, yeah, that's the go-to.
I'll give popcorn a shout out. I like popcorn. I eat a lot of popcorn. Nothing
you?
holds a candle to breakfast, first and foremost. Breakfast is,
I don't do breakfast.
I could eat breakfast every meal of the day. I'm a huge breakfast guy. On the weekends, my kids hate me because I will wake up and I will make some sort of breakfast, burritos, breakfast sandwiches, something, and I ended up eating half of them.
Has he ever called you?
No, if you want to hear a story about some breakfast food, I'm going to call some people out right here on this episode. We're dropping names, okay? So listen to this. We're dropping names. One in particular, and she's going to hate me for this. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago, okay? And a bunch of people in Amherst, we went out the night before. And I'm a big breakfast guy, and everybody knew this. And I said, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go get Sonic breakfast burritos. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go get Sonic breakfast burritos. I'm going to bring them back to my house. Well, somebody, Renee Mitchell, said, hey, I'll take some Sonic breakfast burritos. Okay, sure. Live right by me, no problem. So I go to town, nice and early, get the Sonic breakfast burritos, come back, pull into her house, knock on the door, walk in. I think it was Libby. Libby was sitting in the living room. I said, hey, where's your mom at? I got her breakfast burritos. Oh, she's in bed. She said just leave them on the counter, thanks. Excuse me? So I have, since then, never delivered breakfast burritos again.
Well, that didn't answer the question, though.
yeah.
Riley and I had about, I've never gotten a call.
Well, you know,
But that's all right, because I'm not a big breakfast guy.
Santiago's, you want to open a restaurant in Kearney? I'm here. I'll invest. Let's do this. Best breakfast burritos in the world. Santiago's. Anyways.
Is that? I won't go there. I won't go there, Anchorman. San Diego.
Yeah, I know. But no, in terms of snacks, I'm a salty guy. Like I love like chips and dip, chips and queso, chips and salsa. I like sweets, but I always have to finish salty, and so I'm a big chip, cracker, dip, popcorn. I love popcorn. Yeah, I snack a lot. Like more days than not, I snack all day and I never eat a full meal.
I will say chips and salsa.
Oh,
One of the best all-time greatest snacks.
I agree. I'll do the queso over the salsa. Salsa's still good, but I'll take the queso.
sounds good. So Saturday morning, we'll be at Brandon's house.
Sonic breakfast burritos.
No, I think I want something different.
Well, I'll deliver.
Homemade
I'll deliver once, and if you don't show me the respect I deserve for bringing you those burritos, you never get burritos again.
Respect.
Respect.
Right on.
All right. Yeah. Top sports memories of your own kids, Riley. We'll start with you, but this one's going to be tough.
I'll just keep it short and simple just because I'm, pretty new to the game of sports with the kiddos. I just really appreciate and love seeing how excited they get for swim lessons. Every Monday I look forward to Mondays now, just because I get to take them to swim lessons. I get to see them have fun, just swimming, and they get excited about it. So for me, I guess right now it's swim lessons on Mondays.
Yeah, didn't you say Bowden last time you took him? Like all the other kids in his class were kind of hesitant to get in.
Yeah.
Bowden just walks up to the edge and
Cannonball.
Yeah. Yeah. He that was pretty cool to see too. So this is his second go around the swim lessons. His first go around, he was just hell on wheels. He didn't listen. He just kind of did what he wanted. He was in and out of the pool, cannonballs, diving under the water to go get the sinky toys. He was having fun. The swim instructors were impressed because, no one else in his class was able to swim to the bottom of the pool at 2 years old and grab the sink toy and doing cannonballs and stuff off the side. To where we are now, about not even a year later, now he's able to sit on the side and wait to be instructed to go do something. He's more patient. Now that might just be him learning the system more, but still it shows growth in that aspect of just maturity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, state volleyball is a hard one to
Is a hard one to pass.
pass up.
Yeah.
And even though I only had one playing, Jazzy was still a part of the team as a manager, so she was along for the ride. Journey is, in volleyball. So yeah, state volleyball for me is Jane's got a couple dance state championships which are also super memorable, but with being a coach, having Jazzy part of the team, Jaden playing, and just going and experience and the way it happened, it's just
Yeah, that was crazy.
Reverse sweep, right?
reverse sweep.
If I remember
If
right.
I remember right, it was a
Yeah,
reverse sweep against our conference rival.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes.
So no, that one takes cake right now. So
Yeah. Well, I got to think back a few years on mine, but I can probably give you one for each kid because at one time we were in Spokane playing volleyball. Sarah had to play front row against one of the best teams in the Northwest, and we had our libero playing front row, and we beat them a set. And we had no business being on the court with five,
Oh, yeah.
6 players playing front row, but we did it. So that was a good moment. For Noah, I think when he was 12, he pitched a no-hitter against Lethbridge, Canada. And that was pretty fun. That was pretty cool. We got a ball and he signed it and all that.
that has to be one of the hardest things in sports to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is pitch a no hitter.
And what's interesting is he had no idea. He had no idea what he did. I mean, obviously we told him afterwards.
Right.
But
So during it, he was not aware of where he was at in that.
That's probably good.
yeah.
Yeah, if you would have told him, it may have got to him mentally, and then
And that's really tough to do in young sports because, especially in baseball, I mean, to get a no-hitter, you rely on your team back behind you a lot.
Yeah.
And in young sports, they make a lot of errors. So
So that was a
cool.
highlight too. And then I think for Josiah, when he was young, about any baseball game that he played, he was always smiling, and he'd get on base and he'd raise his hands up and. Again, he was another kid that he just wanted to make people smile. So I mean, there was a lot of those times. But yeah, those are my. Oh,
Google and try to pull on the one.
the and one moves. Is that when the and one was?
well, there was one time when he was playing in junior high, and it was in Grand Island, and he goes up and he makes a layup, gets fouled, and then he starts walking like McGregor,
Conor McGregor walk.
little cock walk there. That was pretty funny.
Ain't got nothing on me.
But you'll experience more and more, but that's fun, and you'll remember them. Like I said, it doesn't take long for me to remember some of those stories, but.
Woo! Hey, hey, put a smile on your face. bump to. One day chilling, doing whatever you want to. Sunday chilling, song to sing along to. And we gon' do whatever we gon' do. I know you want to, you can sing along too. Yeah. I say you can sing along.